Girl, this is full coverage. She's here. Hi guys, Natural Bombshell here, and as you can see by the title of this video, I am going to show you how to use the BareMinerals powder foundation. Now, one of the biggest complaints about this foundation is that people cannot or feel that they can't get full coverage from it. So I am going to show you some tips, tricks, and tidbits on how to achieve a full coverage look with BareMinerals. So without further ado, let's get into it. But first, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, click that notification bell so that you're notified every time I post, and also follow me on my Instagram for more. And I'll have everything linked below, so if you want to try these products, you sure can, and follow this tutorial, and then hopefully you'll create your own full coverage BareMinerals look. As you can see, we have no makeup on, well, on my face. I've already done my eyes, lashes, and brows, because in this video, as stated, I'm going to concentrate more on full coverage powder foundation from BareMinerals. Now, two things. You have the original and you have the matte. My personal preference is the matte because I like a natural satin matte finish. If you want a more radiant foundation, you can use the original. If you feel that the original makes you look ashy or it makes you itch, I've heard some people say that, then try switching to the matte. If you have dry skin and you're switching to the matte, make sure you're doing a very hydrating skin prep. I'm going to use my winter shade, which is medium dark, and I used this in the last video and it worked pretty well for me. Now, one of the first tips of getting full coverage is, well, first of all, let me give you background on this foundation to get full coverage. I feel that with the foundation alone, you can get full coverage. No, you can get like a high medium coverage, but by the time you add all of your layers, you'll be at a full coverage look. Meaning by the time you put in, if you pre-conceal, if you post-conceal, bronzer, blush, you know, all of those different highlighter, all of those different layers, for me, gives me a full coverage look. The second tip I will give you is the type of brush or tool that you are using. Now, this foundation comes with the brush. I couldn't find mine, but to me, that brush gives a more medium coverage, and you can, you know, build it up, but I feel that it takes, you know, a lot of layers and buffing to build it up, which is how you should be doing this foundation anyway. But I think with, for me, a more dense kabuki brush style gives me like quick, easy, full coverage. So I like using the Morphe M429 brush. Another good one is the I think this is the Real Techniques multitasking brush, and they also have a buffing brush that's denser than this one. Now, if you use a brush like this that's real fluffy, girl, you're not gonna get full coverage. You're just gonna be kind of a finishing powder look, and that's not what we want to do. We want a full coverage beat, okay, or paint, but we don't want to look shellacked. We want to look painted, but not like we're wearing paint. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So let's get started. First, let me clip back Nisha. Girl, Nisha may get a little bit rambunctious during the video, because she might be like, girl. So the first thing I like to do is prime. So with BareMinerals foundation, the loose powder foundation, I like using a lotion, or kind of like, not a real lotion, but a lotion texture primer, or a primer that dries down. These are the two that I like to use. I like to use the Combo Control, or I like to use the Blemish Remedy. Girl, you can see this packaging. She done been through. So I'm going to go in with the Becca Evermatte in my T-zone. Again, you can skip this step if you want to, especially if you don't have, you know, oily T-zone. Excuse this ratchet breakout on my chin that time of the month. And also, did I mention this is not sponsored? This is all me, sis. Now I'm going to go in with the BareMinerals Combo Control, I take probably like a pea size amount, a dime size amount. And so I am prepped and primed. So now another part of my prep process that I do off camera and obviously every day is proper skincare. Girl, I just can't stress it enough. If you want great, you will never receive the optimum level of performance of makeup, I feel, unless you have a bomb skin prep. I will probably say that in every video, because a lot of times the makeup isn't the problem. It is the canvas as to which it is being applied that needs some you know, that needs some assistance. So or correction. You know, you would again color correct and pre-conceal at this point. You can also do post concealing as well. So now that I'm prepped and primed, I'm going to go in with my foundation. Now, the way you apply, most people when they complain that they cannot get full coverage from this makeup, it is because they are not using the proper tools and they are not applying it correctly. So in your cap, you want to sprinkle it like cinnamon on a latte. That's really all you need. It shouldn't be kicking up and flying everywhere. If it is, then you have too much. So you want to swirl, tap, and buff. And I like to go in sections. And the more you buff and build, the fuller your coverage you will get. So don't go in it and say, oh, let me just get a brush and scoop all this powder and dust. You're going to have a makeup cloud. Your makeup going to be everywhere. On the vanity, it's going to be more in the atmosphere than on your actual face. So just sprinkle, less is more, and build. So I'm going to start on this side. And again, in this video, we are going to get a full coverage look. That is our goal. So I'm taking another sprinkle, and now I'm going to the other side of my face. So for me to get the coverage that I like doing two applications, and then one. So it ends up being really like me sprinkling and buffing 5 times for full coverage. So I'm going to continue my layers, and or I don't know. Ooh, I don't know if you all want this in real time or not, because it's just gonna be a lot of buffing, but I guess I can, so you can see the coverage build, because I was gonna speed through it, but I'm not gonna speed through it because I really want to show you all how this coverage builds. Girl, wash those brows, honey. We just did them. You know what? I wish I would have showed y'all my, maybe have done full coverage on one side and then showed you the other side. All right, and so now I'm going to go in with my last layer, because again, I've noticed with this brush, when I use this Morphe brush, I kind of get full coverage and, you know, quicker, I feel. Swirl, tap, and buff. Let's look it up close. Oh yeah. Okay, so this is pretty much the coverage that I like. Now, this is the point where if you want to post conceal something, now would be your chance. Again, I don't do any post conceal. You know what? I'm going with one more layer. Why not? Girl, this is a full coverage tutorial. Why not? Yeah, but in most cases, I try to get all of my coverage from, you know, well, majority of it from the foundation with this one. Girl, nice. So now is the part where we continue with the other steps of the makeup to again achieve a full coverage look or foundation finish. So at this point, I'm through with the BareMinerals powder. I did 4 buffing buffing applications. So now I'm going to go in with the rest of my makeup. I am going to take a concealer now and start my concealer highlighting process. Now, concealers that I personally like that go well with this foundation are kind of creamy emollient concealers, because even though this is a powder, after you buff it turns into like a creamy finish. So I like a creamier concealer. Now, Nourish Your Radiance, I use that in another video just to show you how I apply it, but that was mostly just a light everyday look. You know, it wasn't as, I really wasn't achieving full coverage with that look. But when I like to go in with a like very creamy emollient full coverage concealer. Now, I wouldn't go as beast mode as like Tarte Shape Tape, but I do like NARS Creamy Radiance if I'm trying to do just like a light quick application. And this is another one, Too Faced Born This Way Multi Sculpting Concealer, and this is kind of more of a yellow based concealer, because to me the medium foundation is a little warmer. So to balance out that, and by warm I mean like a little red warm, so I will take a more golden concealer to kind of balance my color out. So this is a very pigmented concealer, so I'm just going to go in with a couple of dots of this. And I've never had any issues with applying a liquid or cream product on this foundation, even though it's the powder. So I just roll with it. Oh girl, this is fire already. Girl, I already see the finish line. Not even there yet, but girl, this gonna be cute. That breakout, that's a mess. I swear, if I didn't break out when my cycle's on, my skin would be flawless. That is the only time I have breakouts. Oh, girl. You see the vision? Do you see the paint? Girl. This is a look, honey. So then what I like to do is, after I've applied my concealer, I like to get whatever residual is left and then just buff around those edges to just make a seamless look. Okay, so now I'm going to take some of, what's her name, girl? Laura Mercier setting powder to set my concealer. And this is just a translucent one. And the reason why I'm using the translucent one is because the concealer was so yellow, or had such a golden undertone, to where I didn't want to put the golden one on top of that. But if it was a more neutral concealer, then I would have used the golden setting powder. This is my Exeter. Thank you. And obviously, since this is a powder foundation, I really don't bake. I just set, and then I'm just going to go over with my brush to take away any excess powder, if there is, and then just kind of buff that like that. Girl, this is full coverage. She's here. So now, since we've, you know, concealed, we've used foundation, now it's time for us to add the dimension back in our face. So now I'm going to take the black opal foundation stick. I like suede mocha, and now I'm going to add that warmth back to my skin through contouring, through contour rather. And with the powder foundation, I like to warm it up on the back of my hand first and get as much as I'm gonna need, and then I like to take my brush, stipple it in there, and then stipple it on my face. Now when I use a liquid foundation, I kind of do this differently. I just apply the stick right on my face, and sometimes I apply the stick right on my face with this too, but I actually find that I like this method better with the loose powder. As you can see, girl, bam. And just going down the perimeter of my face in a 3E motion, but stippling and buffing at the same time. Girl, this looking good, and don't have nowhere to go, but now I want somewhere to go, because this is off the chain. I mean, I'm not surprised, because this is how I do my makeup when I wear this, but you know, if you haven't worn makeup in a while and you do it, and you're just like, ooh, girl. So now I'm going to take the BareMinerals BarePro foundation in Clove, and I'm going to use that to set that creamer, and it's also going to act as kind of like bronzer as well. And just, again, just kind of sweeping. I'm using the Black Radiance Toasted Almond Blush. It's just kind of like a warm terracotta color. And I like using blushes with a sheen or radiance, because we have used so many layers of powder. So the next step is, I guess I put a little bit on the side of my nose, bronzer. Oh girl, we got to highlight, honey. Hold up, wait a minute. Let me put some sheen up in it. I'm gonna take Becca's Chocolate Geode. I actually like to put my highlighter on before my blush, but I mean my blush before my highlighter. Wait a minute. No, my highlighter before my blush. She's beaming. Alrighty. So this is it. Let me pop on this lip. I'm taking Iman's lip liner in Cocoa. Yeah, have y'all tried it? I know this is BareMinerals, but have y'all tried Iman Cosmetics? It's off the chain. I don't think I've tried a product that I didn't like. Okay, so now I'm going in with BareMinerals Lipstick and Presence. This is just kind of like an everyday, kind of like your lip color, but better. It's pretty, and then I'm gonna top it off with, which one I want? Girl, Bae. It's always Bae. Bae is high key Bae. Girl, ain't nothing like a full lip, honey. Okay. Oh, and the final step, setting spray. I'm going in with Urban Decay All Nighter. Well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and look. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And also, check out my Instagram where I post more about fashion, beauty, and my life as a plus size model. Thanks guys, stay safe, go forth and prosper.